TIFU by meeting up with an online friend for the first time and getting high. I'm sorry for any spelling mistakes or grammar issues, I'm doing this on my phone. So this didn't happen today but happened last night. For some backstory, I met this guy online about 2 months ago. He was a friend of a friend from college that I met online in my college friend's Discord server. We would game together and generally have a good time. So this week I had to go on a work trip from Monday to Wednesday. I realized that the city I was going to for the trip was in the same town where this guy lived. I contacted him on Discord to let him know I was in town and that we had made plans to hang out on Tuesday night since it would be my last night in the area. Tuesday came around and we finalized the rest of the plans, what we were going to do that night, where, and when. You know, the whole spiel. We decided that after I finished work he was going to pick me up, get some food, buy some weed, and just chill playing Switch games for the rest of the night. He picked me up at the hotel after work around 5:30 p.m. and we went to get some food. I was trying my absolute best to hold a conversation with him since I could feel that he felt a little awkward. No big deal. After we went to get the food we headed to the weed store. On the way there however he asked some questions like how much does it dank. I told him we could just smoke the joints outside so none of the smell would get into the house. He insisted on smoking in the garage and said he'll just bring some Febreze. Since he was asking so many questions, I assumed he really didn't smoke weed often. I asked if his parents were okay with smoking and that I didn't really feel like doing it anyways, so if he didn't want to it would be no big deal. He replied she knows. Yeah. She knows. I would like to mention that where I live weed is legal and at least from what I've noticed not a lot of people think it's a big deal. I bought the joints, headed back to the car and put them in cup holder and he took them and put them into the middle island compartment of the car. I asked him why. He said just so people don't see it. I should mention we are 20, and I at least don't have to sneak around my parents, but I was having the impression that he was. Again I told him that if he doesn't want to it's fine because I'm not really feeling it either. He said he wanted to. We get to his house, I say hi to his mom, we go into the basement and we start eating and watching some YouTube. Everything in my POV is going fine, odd but fine, I'm enjoying his company and having a nice night. We finish eating, we got upstairs into his garage and lit up the joints. He brought the Febreze. Every time I would have a drag he would spray the Febreze at me. I didn't say anything but part of me was like WTF, half a joint later and I'm tired of getting sprayed so I put out the joint and put it back in the container and he does the same. Before we head back inside his house he makes me close my eyes and spread my arms so he can spray me with the Febreze from head to toe. He even put some in my afro. Trying to be a good guest I go along with it. Being back downstairs, we play Smash Brothers on my Switch. He asks me if he can have half of the joints and I have the other half to its fair as he put it. Again I didn't say anything but was like how is that fair? I bought them. I said sure and we kept playing. During our time playing I was still trying my best to talk to him. I would say things like oh man your combo is nasty and he would reply by basically sassing me back with you can play whoever you want to, I'll play whoever I want to. Every time I would say something he would reply with that same STFU attitude. It was the complete opposite of how he was before we smoked. I thought maybe half a joint might have been too much for him so I just blamed it on the weed. About 20 minutes go by and I'm baked AF and feeling insulted by the constant rudeness. I asked him if I could have the Wi-Fi password so that I could re-download the DLC I had on Smash Brothers. He said that he would just hotspot me instead. The only problem was that the hotspot password he had was like $4333483_9 ==== 887. Being so high I wasn't able to get the password in after 10 minutes of trying. He was getting visibly angry with me so I just said it's fine I don't really need it and we kept playing. I asked him why I couldn't connect to the Wi-Fi and told me to not worry about it. About 10 minutes later he says you should leave in like 10 minutes. This completely blindsided me. I assumed that we were going to hang out until I was sober enough to get myself to the hotel safely and he didn't tell me otherwise. He just started packing up my Switch not even a minute after he told me to leave and handed it to me. And said, "Let's go." So here I got out of his room and went to a different part of the basement where the cell reception was better. My data is really bad to begin with and I wasn't able to connect to the Uber app. I tell him that I might need him to hotspot my phone so I can order my ride. He gets angrier that I said that and goes, "Well, can't you call someone to come get you?" Let me remind you, I'm on a work trip, in a city that I don't know, and staying at a hotel. If I had someone to call I would be staying with them. I said no. He got even more mad and shoved his phone at me with the long-ass complicated password. It takes me like 4 minutes to input it and the whole time I was doing it he would ask me if I was done and to hurry up. We go back upstairs. He just brings me to the door and goes back into the basement without saying a word. So I stand there and wait for my ride alone. My ride arrives, and I thank his mother for having me over and leaving the house. The part that really pisses me off was that I wasn't sober enough to get home safe. I accidentally ordered the Uber a block away and didn't realize it, so I was in the street pulling the handle of parked cars because I thought they might have been my Uber. I'm black and 6'7". If anyone saw me doing that they would have probably called the police. Luckily, after about 5 minutes of me going from car to car checking if they were my Uber driver came, saw me, drove down to where I was and asked if I was okay. I told him what happened and that I'm under the influence. When we got to the hotel he walked with to my hotel room and made sure I got in okay. I gave him a huge tip DW and 5 stars. I got back to my hotel at 8 p.m., and after running around we got to his house at 6:45, meaning I was at his house for only an hour give or take. TLDR, met up with a friend of a friend while on a work trip in a different city. He got pissed for some reason and kicked me out. Edit, thank you to everyone, the kind words really made me feel better. I was unsure about the situation and worried that I did something wrong. Shit like this normally doesn't bother me, but it's been weighing heavy on my mind because I've never ever been worried about my safety up until last night. Like I'm a big guy, being high and walking around the street could have been really bad, could have hurt myself or others, and I'm glad the Uber driver was such a great guy. All I'm trying to say is that after reading your comments I've been able to make peace. Yeah, OP, I would like an update if you have further communication with this guy. I have no clue what to make of this, it seems so weird. I'm just glad you're safe. That's a spot to leave someone in, especially in an unfamiliar state with no support net, when it should have just been a chill interaction between two buds. I didn't know if he was wigging out or what. Yeah, I'm fine now. I talked to my college friend to ask him WTF happened because as many who commented were confused, so was I. All I heard back was that the vibe was off. IDFK. The vibe was definitely off. I felt more and more uncomfortable for you as the post went on, but I don't think it was you. Who the F sprays someone with Febreze like that? My guess would be that he got anxiety/paranoia from weed, especially since he didn't seem to be a big smoker. Ha 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 ha, yeah. He smoked and got extra weird. He already seemed weird. I think it's as simple as this. Sometimes people are just different when you meet up, whether it be getting high or social anxiety, or they are more comfortable online, etc. I don't think you did anything wrong though. He doesn't seem much fun to hang around, TBH. Such a weird situation. I'm glad you made it out of there. Also, as a stoned young person you did an excellent job of taking care of yourself. I love that you weren't afraid to tell the Uber driver what happened and that you asked for help when you were unsure you could find your way safely to your room. But yeah, that dude is super weird. I definitely get the impression he was not a big smoker. I've never seen someone spray air freshener between every puff. Please like and subscribe for more daily content.